Hey everyone, it's Kevin from Natural State. In this video, I wanted to go over something that I tried last year, which was using a shoe rotation for my training plan. So let's get into it. So what is a shoe rotation? Well, it's exactly like it sounds. It's rotating multiple pairs of shoes throughout the week or throughout your training plan. So for many runners, this means at least 2 pairs of shoes, and it can be up to however many you like, really. Last year, I decided to go with 5 pairs, and I'll talk a little bit more about those a little bit later in this video. But I do want to preface by saying that you don't have to have a shoe rotation to be a runner, or it doesn't guarantee any success in running. I do believe that Caleb uses 1 shoe throughout the year, and he only replaces that when the mileage starts to get pretty high in those shoes. And so I think it's really best to find whatever works for you in your training style. So I started to look into a shoe rotation after I heard of some of the benefits from some of the running personalities in the industry, as well as some seminars from some brands. And so here's a little bit of what I found. First, you can prolong the life of your shoes by distributing the miles you run on them across multiple pairs. I think all my shoes lasted me about a year before I needed to replace one of them. The rotation also helps this midsole and this middle portion of the shoe here fully decompress after each of your runs. So that allows the shoe to provide the right amount of cushion, the right amount of energy recovery, or energy return during subsequent runs afterwards. With all the different types of shoes available, rotating those pairs lets you really cater each shoe to that kind of run. So for example, I tended to use maybe a higher stability shoe for those tempo runs or speed workouts on the track, and then I opted for maybe a max cushion shoe or something else during those easy days or recovery days when I'm trying to let my body recover from the stress I just put it through. But most of all, I had to deal with a lot of injuries when I first started running, and a lot of studies have shown that alternating shoes can help minimize that risk for injury. And so this is something I really wanted to look into and try for myself. Different shoes produce different gait patterns and muscle recruitments. So this tends to place less repetitive stress on your legs and on your feet. And so for me, this did require me to ultimately test out each pair of shoe individually, go on a couple runs before I decided whether or not I was going to keep them or not. Luckily, our local running store here in Arkansas and then other brands from across the industry have pretty good exchange policies. And so that allows you to kind of trial out what kind of shoe works for you in those different instances. So what did I use last year? Well, as I mentioned before, I did a 5 shoe rotation for all my workouts. Most of my runs were on a daily trainer. So this is a kind of shoe that will differ for many people, but it's usually some kind of middle ground, something durable with some stability or support, a little bit amount of cushion, and that is overall comfortable that you can reach to anytime. And so for me, this was the ASICS Novablast 3s. I chose this for really its ability to be versatile in any kind of run, any kind of weather or terrain. It did take me a couple runs to get used to. It doesn't really provide a whole lot of stability in the heel, but there is kind of a big base here that does help when I'm trying to plan on variable surfaces or trying to go fast. So it did take me a little bit to get used to, but eventually I ended up liking the shoe. It's probably one of my favorite shoes from last year. Next was my race shoe. So here I really liked the Nike Vaporfly 3s. The responsiveness of having the carbon plate in the middle here I felt was really beneficial for some of those longer runs like the marathon or when I was really trying to go fast and get that PR. So some shoe rotations stop there, usually just a daily trainer as well as a race shoe. But for me, I really like it to experiment, and so I decided to add a couple more to my repertoire. So I included a speed or a track day shoe for those faster workouts whenever I needed those. So here I used the Brooks Launch GTS 9s. Pretty lightweight shoe. I really liked the stability that it gave me when I was trying to push those track times down or when I was really trying to do a tempo run. It's got this guide rail technology on the shoe that helps keep my heel and my foot in place when I'm trying to move a little faster. It's got a hard rubber bottom as well, which I tended to really like. This helps me maintain a lot of grip in different weathers, on different surfaces and also minimize kind of the wear and tear as the mileage started to build up on these kind of shoes. I also included a max cushion shoe. So for me, this was the Diadora Equipe Nucleos. For those long runs or recovery runs, something I needed just a lot of time, a lot of easy run days. These usually have a lot of foam for cushioning your feet, and it's got a really good and durable upper. So for those long times, you're out there for a couple hours, you want something that will last. The tongue and outside of these shoes are a little thicker than other shoes, but for me, I liked that it kind of cushioned my shoe or cushioned my feet all the way around during those runs. I did think that helped to reduce some of the stress on my legs after, say, like a race, or if I'm just trying to get some mileage in. I did find these to be really comfortable for those longer periods of time. The last shoe in my rotation was a pair of trail running shoes. So we did a couple trail and gravel runs with the Mid-South race and the Dirt Circus races. So I wanted something a little bit more with lots of traction, a little more ankle support in my runs. For my trail shoe, I opted for the Nike Pegasus Trail, which was really awesome for what I needed it to do. It's got that really high top design around the ankle, so I was able to cinch it down, give my ankle some of that support when I was running on uneven surfaces or rocks. These do have that Gore-Tex layer as well, and that really helped keep my feet nice and dry in the rain, through the mud and even the snow. I felt pretty confident in the grip of these shoes with the bulky treads at the bottom here as well. I really like these as a trail running shoe. And that's it. Like I said before, this is a set of shoes that I found to work really well for me. Well, it might work for you or somebody else, maybe different, but I always thought it was helpful when I was first researching a shoe rotation to look at what worked for others and use that as a starting point. So I think next year or this coming year, I'm going to stick with most of these. I actually bought a new pair of Novablasts already, and then I've also got a new pair of Vaporflies for all those 2024 races that I've got on my calendar. I think I will start to experiment a little bit with the max cushion shoe. I know there's other brands that offer max cushion shoes, and so I wanted to try those out, as well as my speed shoe. Maybe find something that maybe it's a little lighter, maybe gives me a little bit more support, but those are the two shoes I'm looking for testing out in 2024. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in a deeper dive in any of these shoes, or if you have any comments on what you've really been enjoying lately. I think it's really cool to have a discussion, and maybe we can help each other find out like what's going to be your next favorite pair of shoes. So thanks for stopping by, and until we see you in the next one, keep it natural.